What is going on, maniacs? Welcome to the Manga Madhouse. We have another manga haul for you. Today will be the October manga haul. I know it probably won't come out till like November 2nd, but either way, this is all the manga I bought really in August and October. Some of this manga you have seen before, but I actually used the manga haul to kind of formally introduce certain manga to you. Just so that's kind of my way of making sure, one, I showed it, and two, I go ahead and add it to my manga spreadsheet, which I actually have a video talking about my manga spreadsheet coming up soon because I feel like it's time. It's been a while since I talked about it, and there's some things I've tweaked, and then also I just want to show you how I continuously keep track of my manga, mainly because I think last time I had like 200 volumes, now I'm at like 500. So I feel like it's a good tool. So I'll make sure to show you in that video, and then also I'll have it to where you can download it and use it yourself once that video comes out. I have a lot of interesting stuff here. Every piece of manga in here actually has like almost like a story behind it. Some of them don't. Some of them is just like, oh, I thought that was cool, so I got it. But then there's others that I feel as though has a story to it. I'm not going to show these in any particular order. I just written them down in my notes, so we're just going to go based on that. So the first one I have for you today is Dragon Ball Super. Let me move this receipt because who needs that? Dragon Ball Super volumes 1, 2, I do not have 3, which we'll talk about in a second. 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and I'll probably go back and show these as I'm talking. But the reason I got these is because, of course, as you know, I got Spark and Zero for the Dragon Ball game, and as of right now I'm having a lot of fun. I should be streaming it more. If you want to follow me and be a part of those streams, then go ahead and click the link down below. I'll have my Twitch stream there because I'm going to involve more of that stuff, but I actually don't want to do it on the actual YouTube channel just because I feel as though this is kind of more for manga and anime stuff, and while this is somewhat related, it's still me playing games, so I figured why not move it over there. So like I said, I'll put the link down in the description below. But anyway, I was playing the story mode only because I'm really trying to unlock characters, and as you know, my relationship with Dragon Ball has been ever since the Buu saga, and really what I saw that we're doing with my boy Gohan. I just have not been interested. It's just kind of, to me, it's just kind of been the same old, same old. So anyway, I was playing the game, and then they got into the Goku Black arc, and I'm familiar with it, but I'm not familiar with the details of it. I, for the longest time, was just, like I said, after I kind of was done with the series, I would definitely still go on YouTube and watch fights. I would watch a bunch of anime music videos. So I wouldn't know who these characters they were fighting, but I was just there to watch the fighting. And so I knew about Goku Black, but I didn't know the intricacies of it. So playing the game, it was like, this sounds really interesting. And right now I'm only playing as Goku, so you only see it from Goku's point of view, but you can tell there's a lot missing. So now here we are. I went ahead and got all the series, well, the first like 7 volumes to make sure I covered the Goku Black arc, and then also just to get a little bit after to see if I want to continue collecting it. And regardless of how this ends up, whether I end up liking it like I think I will or hating it, I'm going to do a video on it because I think if I really like it, this could be the series. This could be the arc that gets me back into the series. But the reason I don't have 3 is because 3 seems like it's impossible to find, and I didn't want to hold out because then I probably would have never did it. So I just went ahead and got it, and what I'll do is probably read the chapters that are in 3 online through the Shonen Jump app. But yeah, definitely had to get those. If you know anywhere where I can get volume 3, please let me know, because that's actually a key part in the Goku Black arc is volume 3. But as of right now, can't find it anywhere. Crunchyroll, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. Really can't find it anywhere. So if you know of a place that has a pretty good copy, because I don't want a beat up copy, and while most of my manga is brand new, still I don't know. I just need a pretty good copy of volume 3. If you could do that for me, it will be greatly appreciated. If you want to trade or me buy it from you, whatever the case may be, I just need volume 3 because I can't find it anywhere. That does it for that. Next up, we have Jujutsu Kaisen. There's not really much to say about this. Volume 23, I've just been collecting them as the physicals come out. With Jujutsu Kaisen, I watched the anime. I've caught up with the anime. I've thought about maybe reading it once the anime is done. I know the manga's done, but I thought about reading it once the anime is done. But then also part of me is like, yeah, maybe I should read up to where the anime is through the manga. We'll see. It's just a lot of other stuff is in the way. And the reason I'm actually very keen on, because normally I'm not really, in a rush to read something I've just recently watched the anime for. But the reason I'm interested in reading this is just because watching it, I thought it was cool. I thought it was, you know, I enjoyed it. There's nothing I would take away from it, but I don't get the hype of where it's just the best thing ever. That part I personally do not get. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoy it. I just don't get it. I think I've said that before. So I just wouldn't put it up there as like one of the top manga, or I can't say manga because I haven't read it, but anime of all time. But I did really like it. Like I wouldn't say a bad thing about it. But anyway, Jujutsu Kaisen, I hopefully will read soon. One of my favorites, and currently an anime series now, finally. Dan, however you want to say it, Volume 9. Volume 8 I thought was really good. We get an introduction to another character, which is this guy, I forgot his name, but we get an introduction to him and like some of the things he does. And in Volume 9, I have not read it yet. The only reason I haven't read it is because I'm actually just, you know, head down and trying to finish Homunculus, which I'm only like in book 2. This has not been a good reading month for me, and a lot of it is Homunculus is like, those omnibuses like 500 pages, which I mean, it's not a lot necessarily, but it's just like, that's what, 2-3 manga volumes, and it's only 2, you know, volumes in there. So I could be reading like, you know, this and like some other stuff in the time it takes me to read that. But either way, I'm trying to finish that up. So I have not read this, but as soon as I get the chance, or if I get like in a little slump, I'm definitely going to pick this up and read it. I'm definitely going to pick it up and read it. Jeez, talking over my words there. But yeah, I really love this series. There's nothing bad I can say about it. I really haven't, it's one of my favorite manga right now. But I really haven't watched the anime. I watched the very first episode, and then I have not watched any of the rest. One, just because I am having so much reading the manga. Two, I obviously don't want to like catch up, and I'm not sure how far they plan on going with the anime. So maybe once I kind of get a feel for that, maybe then I'll go ahead and watch it. But I mean, first episode I thought was hilarious. I thought it was great. Thought it really took, you know, what was done in the manga and put it on screen and animated it very well. No shade to Uzumaki, but I really enjoyed it. It's just like I said, I'm having so much fun reading the manga, and I am having fun like not catching up with it digitally, because I said I did that with Chainsaw Man. I didn't want to do that with another series. So it's just fun reading these like as they come out. Yes, I am a little impatient because so much is going on, but still, nonetheless, enjoying it. Next we have let's do this. We have this manga called Udon, and it's by, I don't remember, is it Mako Vice? I could be pronouncing this wrong, but it is a manga by a I don't know the word for it, but it's not like a big mangaka. It's like an indie mangaka, and he does really good art. I actually have a picture somewhere. It's over here, because I'm actually, once this video's over, I'm taking all this down because I finished my last shelf, my new shelf rather. But either way, I wanted to read this. I want to support, like, you know, indie artists, I guess. And so if you know of any more indie artists, then let me know, and I'll definitely go ahead and cop some of their stuff, because I think they should be supported. The art is just incredible. That's the only reason I got it. I don't really know much about what's in here, but I really just enjoy the art, and I honestly want to get more of their art and just plaster everywhere, because it's some really good stuff there. So I'll definitely put a link to their stuff down in the comment section or in the description below, so you can check it out. But yeah, I feel like it's important to support indie artists. Now, I'm not saying this is bad, but even if, unless something's completely horrendous or against your values or anything like that, I think it's always just important to support indie artists, because for every quote-unquote bad person, if other people who are good at the craft see that, you know, an indie artist can make it so far or do things with it, you're going to get more and more, you know, work. So I think it's just important to support, whether how you feel about it or not. Like I said, unless it goes against something you believe in or something like that. But I haven't read this, so I can't say if it's bad or not, but I will say the art is incredible. Next, we have Nana by Ayazawa. And Nana is a story about these two girls who both happen to be named Nana, and one has boy trouble, the other wants to be a punk rock star, and it's just going through their life and trying to see how they, you know, are able to do that. They're both new to Tokyo. The reason I got this is, one, because I do want to add more shoujo to my collection. Two, I am going to start a series at some time, hopefully by the end of the year, where I get manga that I've seen a lot in a lot of people's videos, whether that's a haul, whether that's, you know, a manga collection tour or whatever the case may be. It's something I see a lot. Like if I see that a lot, it's like, oh, that's a series that's like, oh, how's that not in your collection? Or, you know, a lot of people like it. and I may know nothing about it. And so I want to take a lot of those volume 1s, and there's a few series in here that follow that. I want to take those volume 1s, read it, kind of get my thoughts on it, and then go from there as far as, am I going to continue reading it? Am I going to continue collecting it? Because I do feel like there's a difference. And then just go from there. And I think that'll just be a fun series to start. I'm not just going to do it with these and then kind of move on. I'm going to, you know, continuously doing it. That's how you get introduced into more and more series. And I want to do it in a way where, you know, I'm not just grabbing, like some of these titles are pretty big. I have stayed away from them, not on purpose. It's just, I've just been grabbing other stuff. So I want to get into the more, you know, unique series and stuff I may not have heard of at all. And speaking of that, another one which I've heard of, it's a huge anime for sure, but that's going to be a part of that series is Black Clover. So I've heard a lot of good and bad about Black Clover. Volume 1 by Yuki Tabata, I believe that's how you pronounce their name. Black Clover essentially is about this guy who wants to be a mage. Problem is he doesn't have any powers, and it's just kind of going through from that. It's just he's unable to do magic, so it just goes on from there. There's more to the story, like it says on the back, but I feel like that, I mean, I guess you know what's gonna happen, but still, I don't want to be the one to give it away, even though it's there on the back. So yeah, I've heard a lot of good and bad about it. I personally don't know anything about it except pretty much what's on the back of the book. So I definitely want to check it out. The guy, when I bought it, was geeking out over it. He said it's incredible, but I've heard some people say it's not so good. I heard some people say they really can't get past the main character. So there's a lot of things you could say, but I definitely want to read it to check it out because, once again, don't really know too much about it, but it's something I see a lot. So for sure, definitely falls into that category. Another manga that falls into that category is One Punch Man. As you know, my relationship with One, that's who did the story, Yusuke Murata, I believe, did the art. My issue with One is with Mob Psycho. I still don't know the words, and I want to do a video on it, but I truly just don't know the words yet with Mob Psycho, and I talk about this a lot, but I just don't. Like, I like it, but there's things I don't like that takes away from the story. Sometimes I feel like the comedy doesn't hit. Sometimes I feel like the other characters aren't interesting enough to me to care about. There's a lot going on. And surprisingly, one thing that a lot of people say about it is they don't like the art. The art doesn't bother me at all. However, the art in One Punch Man is a lot better. But One Punch Man is another series where in the anime I just was not able to get into. I was not able to get into because, like, what's the point if he beats everyone in one punch? And I have a reference that I want to use, you know, using One Punch later. It's coming up soon with a different, this is a manhwa, but I think it just does it in a more tasteful and just a better way overall. So we'll get to it in a second. But yeah, that will own Black Clover and Nana will be in that series where I read a bunch of volume 1s and tell you my thoughts and tell you if I'm going to continue reading them. Another one that will be in that is by Tachi Fujimoto, Fire Punch. I don't really know much about Fire Punch outside of some stuff I saw in a Alex video. You know, I talk about him a lot on this channel because I love his content. But with Tachi Fujimoto, is it the wrong time to be reading it considering how I feel about part 2 of Chainsaw Man? I don't know, but either way, I've liked Goodbye Eerie. I like Look Back. I really, you know, as you all know, Chainsaw Man Part 1 I loved. So there's no reason why I shouldn't give this a try. This is another one of his big series. So I'm going to check it out. I know there's some crazy things that's said about it, but I personally literally don't know anything about it except the regenerative powers. And I don't even know if that's giving anything away. But I don't really know anything else. And I know it's a revenge story. It's enough. Tachi Fujimoto, revenge story, some seemingly cool powers. That's kind of all I need to check something out. So I'll definitely be adding that to the series as well. And as you know, as you can tell, there's a lot in that series. So it's going to be a pretty thought out video, but I'm excited for it. The last one I think that will be in that series, I'm looking at the manga here. Yeah, the last one that will be in that series is Beastars by Paru Itagaki. Itagaki, I believe is how you pronounce their name. And this just seems like almost like a slice of life coming of age with Beast. And I don't know. I really don't know much else about it, but I see a lot of people talk about it. I see a lot of people love it. I know there's like some spin-offs that people may not care for that much, but as far as like the actual series itself, a lot of people like it. So I'm definitely going to check that out. So next we have The Boxer Volume 7 by JH. So as I was mentioning earlier about One Punch Man and how I feel like I don't necessarily as of right now understand the point because it's just one punch and he's able to take out guys so easily. And I was like, I know of a story that has a similar premise, but I think it's done a lot better, at least from what I saw from the anime for One Punch Man, and that is the boxer. Just because of the fact that I'm not going to get into all the details just in case you haven't read it, but he is a strong guy. And what I like about this series is that the more you read it, the more you realize while it's about you, it's not really. There's other supporting characters that I think they have such interesting stories, and then I like how at times where you feel like you're spending a lot of time on one character, there's a way to kind of wrap it all together and make it, one back to the cohesive story. Because I think what JH does a really good job of in here is stepping away from like the key storyline and giving you these other storylines, then wrapping it back up together, and then still by the end of the manga, you're able to see. Usually there's a boxing match, and then usually there's something kind of at the end that's gonna leave you a cliffhanger or give you something to look forward to in the next volume. And I think that being able to do that, being able to tell such an intricate story, being able to have characters who are just completely different from each other, but yet in other ways kind of see themselves in you or relate to you in some other way. And by you, I mean the character. I just think it's just a good job overall to be able to, well, I wouldn't say these characters are complex, rather. I wouldn't even say the storyline is too complex, but I will say that it's just deeper than the surface level. And I think that being able to bring all that together and then still having you hyped up for what the next volume is going to bring, I think that's just a good job. Now, that's, like I said, not to say that One Punch Man doesn't do that. I don't know. I think I saw like the first 3 episodes of the anime. So maybe reading the manga when I get to that will kind of, sprucing that up for me. Maybe I'll feel the same way. Maybe, of course, I don't expect it to tell the story in the same way, but still, maybe I'll get more out of it by reading the manga when I get to it. Next, we have The Fable, the 3rd omnibus, and I think it's still in the plastic. Yeah, it's still in the plastic. That's why you see the reflection. But I read the first one. I thought it was okay. At times, I felt as though the comedy kind of took me out of it, but overall I think the art's really good. I do think that once you get into what I was looking for, which is like a little more action, those parts are really good. It sometimes the inner dialogue of Fable not trying to be normal, it's just like the gimmick is too gimmicky in my opinion, of him trying to be a normal person, and I get it, but it just seems a little forced. But it wasn't to the point where I was like, I'm not going to read it, because of course I wouldn't have bought Omnibus 3, especially considering I read Omnibus 2. But after I read the first 3 Omnibus, I'm going to kind of make my decision on whether I'm not going to keep collecting this series. And that's just based off the first Omnibus. So maybe Omnibus 2 has something that will blow me away, and then that's not even a question anymore. But as of right now, I'm definitely planning on reading the 2nd one and the 3rd one, hopefully soon, so I can go ahead and make that decision. But as of right now, like I said, I like the art. I could tell by the way, kind of what was building up in the first Omnibus, that maybe something is about to boom. So I think that's going to be really helpful into how I feel about the series. But as of right now, I just think it's okay series. I definitely won't say it's bad, but I definitely have other manga that I prefer. So it's kind of sitting there in that middle, which I guess the more manga you read, there's nothing wrong with having something sit in the middle. But yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at right now with it. And for the next manga we have, it is Alice in Borderland by Hiro Aso. He also created, Zom 100. I think he did the story for that, and somebody else did the art. But either way, I had a video where you could see, can you still see it? Maybe not, maybe I'm in the way this time. But you could see that I only had 1 volume of it, and someone was like, you should have more Alice in Borderland. I was like, you know what, you're right. Even though I haven't read it, you should have more. Because I do, just by premise alone, I feel like I'm going to really enjoy the story. And then also for the fact that once I read the first one, because I actually do plan on reading it very soon, I kind of just want to have 2 just because I'm so confident in me probably more likely enjoying it. I enjoy Zom 100 even though I haven't read it. I've watched the anime, so I think that I can tell I like Hiro Aso's storytelling, so I'm just going to assume, and this is, I could come back on this channel and be like, it sucked, but I just don't feel like I'm going to feel that way. And then also I rarely ever see volume 2 in my local bookstore, which is Barnes & Noble. I rarely ever see it. They usually have 1 and then they have like 4 or something. I rarely ever see 2 or 3 for that matter either. So I feel like it was just, I see it, why not get it? Another series that I felt like, why not just grab it? is Pokemon Adventures. Now, I don't know anything about this. I played all the Pokemon games as a kid. I did find out doing research for this because I didn't know where this manga came from. I didn't even know this manga existed until I saw somebody bring it up on their channel. And what caught my attention about it when someone was kind of talking about it on their channel was that they were saying it's so different from the anime. And while, you know, doing my research, I found out it was the game first, then the anime, and then the manga. And from everything I found. And that's not what I would have expected. I would have expected the manga first, maybe even the anime first, but I did not know it started off as a game first. So, and I loved Pokemon growing up, still do. I kind of keep tabs on it, but it's kind of like in that Dragon Ball kind of realm where I keep tabs on it, but I'm not like fully invested. But I've heard that this is just a lot different from the manga or from the anime, so I just want to see, considering the manga came last, you have the game and you have the anime to kind of to pull from, and then still have to tell an interesting story enough to make people want to read this. What possibly could have been done? So that's what kind of why I picked this up. I didn't pick this up as part of that series that I said I'm going to do, where I pick up popular volume 1s and read it and kind of do that. I truly just picked it up because I was curious. So yeah, I don't know when I'll read it, but I definitely want to read that. Now we're into the hardcover section. I do have a box set to show, but I will do the hardcovers first. We have Junji Ito, No Longer Human. So this manga, I just, you know, I'll put the video here, and then also I can maybe link it down in the description. But I just did a video on the Uzumaki anime, and it put me in the mood to read more Junji Ito. Basically, it just put me in the mood to read more Junji Ito. And honestly, I was just gonna reread Uzumaki because I just really like that story. The more I sit on, the more I thoroughly enjoy it. And I didn't think the anime was too bad. There were some things, of course, I think there's obvious that there could have been looked at, but there were some other things that, you know, kind of bothered me that were smaller. But overall, all the things considered, I don't think it was that bad. But still, it could have been better. But it definitely put me in the mood to read more Junji Ito. And consider I just read Uzumaki, I can't reread. Let's go pick up something else. So this is a well-renowned work of his, even though it's a retelling of a novel of the same name by Osamu Dazai. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. I apologize, but yeah, definitely I was in the mood for Junji Ito, so I had to get that. Next we have Soul Eater, the Perfect Edition. I've always wanted to get into Soul Eater, even though reading the manga was not on my list of doing so. It was more so watching the anime, but I never got around to it. And as I said earlier, when I say I'm going to watch an anime for something, right now that I read manga, I think I'll watch the anime if it's something I want to, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? If it's something I want to see, or if it's something I want to check out. But if I know I'm just not going to get to it anytime soon, but in terms of reading, then I'll just watch the anime because it's a lot easier. So if I get the manga, and in terms of reading, I'll probably read it soon. When, I don't know, because I probably would read Pokemon before that, honestly. But I probably wouldn't get volume 2 until I read volume 1. Because I'm really truly just checking it out. I don't know too much about Soul Eater. I just know that, like I said, I've been looking to watch anime for a while. I did watch some of the anime for Fire Force and enjoyed it, so, and I know it's by the same person, so I definitely want to check that out. Speaking of checking out, I can finally read Parasite now that we have volume 8. Can't wait to see how this looks on the shelf. Like I said, part of the reason I put up my new shelf that you can't see because there's nothing on it is so that I can make room to kind of have my Parasites together, because I can finally see it all together. But my plan was to read that as soon as it was done completed, like as soon as the hardcover color editions were completed. Now that I have so much stuff I want to read, maybe I won't get to it, but I definitely will read it at some point, probably at the beginning of next year. Next we have Trigun, the deluxe edition. So as you know, I already did like a review of like how this was kind of put together and just my thoughts on the physical book itself. Since then I did learn that Trigun, this deluxe edition, is in reference to Trigun when it was first, I guess, put into a magazine, and then the magazine went under, and then somebody else picked it up. I forgot who it was. Was it Dark Horse? I think Dark Horse picked it up, and then that's why we have Trigun and then Trigun Maximum. Trigun Maximum is just finishing out the story. So they came out with hardcovers for that as well. I just wanted to read this one first before I picked that up, because Trigun is another one where it was an older anime and I never really checked it out. I remember it coming on sometimes, but I never really watched it. So I definitely wanted to read this before I got the other one, but I want to read it soon so I can go ahead and make that decision. So I definitely will be doing that. And next, we have Vinland Saga Volume 4. I'm curious as to, well, Book 4, I guess, and this is volumes 10 through 12, yeah. I'm curious as to why the first one was red and, first two, I'm sorry. First two were red. I guess that makes more sense. I thought the first one was red, but the first two are red. So maybe they'll do 2 red, 2 black, and then 2 some other color. I don't know. We'll see. Vinland Saga is one where I watched the anime and then I kind of was getting into manga at the same time, and I was like, I want to read the manga for this. And then as soon as I kind of made that decision, these deluxe editions were announced, and I was like, oh, I'll just wait for that. But at the end of the year, hopefully I do plan on doing like a series where I read the first volume of Vagabond, Berserk, and Vinland Saga, and then kind of talk about that, just because those are supposed to be like the 3 seinen manga. So I definitely will be doing that, like I said, at the end of the year, probably not Christmas time, but in December. So when I'll make sure to do that. Before I show you this art book, next I'll show you this, because I've already showed it on the channel, so I'm not going to go too in depth. But we have Tokyo Ghoul Re. So as some of you know, Tokyo Ghoul right now currently stands as my favorite manga, and I've heard that Re is better. In some cases, some people say the regular Tokyo Ghoul is better. Either way, as much as I love Tokyo Ghoul, the story obviously is not complete until I read Re. I thought Re was just like a retelling, but apparently it's even more of the story. And I say apparently, but I found that out. But when I originally started reading Tokyo Ghoul, I always thought going into Tokyo Ghoul rather, I always thought Re was a retelling of the story. To know that it's just the story carried on, I'm hyped. So probably, I'm not even gonna wait till I finish Homunculus. I'm probably gonna start this soon, and I mean like really soon, like either sometime this week hopefully, just so I can go ahead and get through that, because I'm super excited. I definitely want to finish that before the end of the year. And as I said, that would be in my spooky, and I count spooky between October to December. So from October all the way to beginning of December is my spooky time, fall time, and I felt like that in Homunculus would be my 2 reads for then. And then lastly, I just want to show you the art book. So I won't even look through this art book just because I haven't read Re, so I don't want to give away anything for myself. But of course I had to get it because I got the regular Tokyo Ghoul art book. This one is significantly bigger. So I think that's cool, just because it's going to be more content. But yeah, these art books have become a thing. I've been looking at getting the art book for, I like the one for Akira, even though I haven't read Akira yet, so I don't really look through it too often. But I'm glad that I haven't when I bought that special edition for Akira. And then I've been looking to get the one for Promised Neverland. And then I've seen some of the JoJo's ones, and I'm not really into JoJo yet. I have the first series, so I want to check that out. Sorry, I think I kicked the camera. I want to check out JoJo's before I get the art book. But art books have become a thing of mine because I think they tell more of the story. They give kind of some backstory, and then also, of course, just the dope art that's in them. So I have a video talking about art books, and I'll go check that out. But overall, I think this is a good manga haul. I think this is a really good manga haul. Tell me about anything you know about any of the series that I got. Let me know probably what I should prioritize reading. Let me know if, I know I mentioned like a lot of video ideas, and as I've been gone and not uploading as I should, I've been sitting here thinking nothing but of ideas to put on the channel, because I've always said from day one, I just don't want to be like, here's a manga, and then put it down, and then that's the channel. I always wanted to do more content, so I've been sitting here just thinking of new ways, and that's why you always hear me like asking questions and whatnot, just because I don't want to just show a book and then call it a day. I want to do more. So let me know what you think about some of the video ideas I presented. Let me know what you think about some of the manga, what I should prioritize, because right now, like I said, I'm reading Homunculus and I'm about to start Tokyo Ghoul Re. And then I can hopefully finish those up soon, and then, kind of I'm back on the prowl for another manga. So let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.